Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with FatPhil, and today we're going to be talking about Captain Tarpals. We got his kit reveal posted to the forums. I'm going to get into why I really like this trend that the Gungans seem to be heading in, something I've been noticing with the past couple of releases in the game. I'm extremely excited for this faction to come to the game because, I think they're very iconic to Star Wars, whether or not you enjoyed the prequels or not. And of course, it doesn't come without its flaws that the game is definitely going to very much favor these guys for a long time. We're going to show you guys kind of the forewarnings there. So if you can do me a big favor, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this. Hopefully you guys appreciate when I go over the kit reveals. Hopefully I point out some things that otherwise are a little bit different than other people. So I do appreciate you guys. Channel members, again, I need some time to work on this stuff. It's just been a lot of chaos going on here. So let's pop over to the forums. Let's talk about Captain Tarpals, and I'm going to move my fat face up here. All right. So, Captain Tarpals, I'm the captain now. What a great shout. I want to give CG credit. Like, they've been, even little stuff like this, they've been kind of crushing it lately. Good work, Meathead. Kit design looks awesome. I love the artwork here. Again, I think they always crush this artwork. They do a really good job with it. So, again, Attacker and Gungan. Note that, no Galactic Republic tags, nothing about Naboo, just Attacker, Gungan. So he's going to be the damage dealer for Gungans. Basic ability deals damage to buffed enemies and dispels all buffs on them. That is always a great ability. Think of, like, Boba Fett with his wrist rocket. Becomes a Juggernaut with his Territory Battle Omicron. Now, I normally don't get excited about Territory Battle Omicrons, but I want to give Capital Games some credit here. In recent time, they really seem to be putting Omicrons on characters, so that way, like, the same team can be used with an Omicron and TB, Territory Battles, and Territory Wars. Right, GAC, TB, Territory Wars, yeah. That inside of those major game modes, they're trying to get that team they're trying to get that team to be able to be utilized in all the major game modes with potential Omicrons. I like that change. I think that's something that has really been missing in the past. Think of the Inquisitors. You had, 6 of them had Territory War Omicrons? Like, why? Especially when Grand Inquisitor was the best lead of them all. And then, Riva came in and is for Grand Arena. Like, I think they learned their lesson with that. And so, while I don't love Territory Battle Omicrons, I love that this team is going to give you the option to be able to equip one. And I just want to say this before we continue moving on. Keep in mind that the most recent characters to get Territory Battle Omicrons were Cal Kestis, or like Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and I believe one of the characters in Bo-Katan Mandalore. I think one of them, there's a Territory Battle Omicron. Keep in mind, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis has that special mission on Baraka, has a bonus mission in Zepho, and Bo-Katan Mandalore's team, they said, hey, you're going to need these characters for a new planet that's going to be coming, like a bonus zone. So I would imagine that these characters with these Territory Battle Omicrons that are coming to the game now will be ones that will have a special zone that they're intended to be used in. Just kind of my hunch. So, Inspiration, again, he's the most recognizable Gungan outside of Jar Jar Boss Nass. Again, everything kind of based on, the Phantom Menace and the battle against the Trade Federation droids. So, Captain Tarpal's special ability, No Gibbon Up, can scale highly based on the number of debuffs. Try to apply as many as possible. Utilize No Gibbon Up to mark a high priority target that Gungan allies can follow up on. That's a great ability. We'll talk about that. He gains a bunch of powerful benefits when the allied shield generator is active. Okay. And he will counterattack enemies that are debuffed and deals true damage based on his max protection. So again, that max protection kind of coming back just like Boss Nass. He will be a marquee event. They're trying something out specifically for the Gungans. Each tier has this. So I'm curious to see if they'll continue to do this after the Gungans, if it's driving revenue or not. Gonna need him at Relic 5 for Jar Jar. Will the Gungans be getting GCs? Around Jar Jar's release, we plan to introduce a Gungan modifier and have GCs more heavily focused on players bringing in the Gungans for a time. So, this is the one shred of bad news, I would say, is that it's going to be win with a full team of Gungans. And, again, I feel like at least when you said, hey, win with a full team of Inquisitors, everybody had 5 Inquisitors in their account. It's going to be impossible to win with a full team of Gungans when Jar Jar's locked behind Relic 5. So, I feel that this is definitely a step in the wrong direction. Just my humble opinion. If it was win with 4 Gungans, I would be far more open to them. But I think if it's a full team of Gungans, a lot of players are really going to struggle because nobody is going to have 5 Gungans, right? So I hope that it's like a 4 Gungan type thing, and that Jar Jar's the only way to get some of the feats or something. But yeah, I'm not excited at all for this. I feel like this is a really, really poor direction to take. Just, again, looking at the vast majority of the player base who isn't going to get Jar Jar, you're going to have these GCs that, excuse me, gosh, you have these GCs that you're going to be spending all this time and resources in developing, and the majority of the player base is just going to be like, yeah, not happening. So, let's talk about the basics. Let's get into his kit. So, Hey Yusa. Deal damage to target enemy and shock them for 1 turn. If the enemy had any buffs, dispel them and deal damage an additional time. Gungan allies gain advantage. I like that. I like the gaining advantage is really nice. Again, that's going to be critical hits, right? So that is always a wonderful ability. You got to think, Boss Nass can call assists. So if he calls, Captain Tarpals here to assist, giving out advantage. Again, I think that's a really nice ability. Next, Ouch Time. His special 1, cooldown of 4. Deal damage to all enemies, dealing 10% more damage per debuffed enemy. Remove 10% turn meter from all enemies. Enemies without debuffs are staggered. Separatist enemies without debuffs are stunned, which can't be resisted. That is beautiful. Can't be resisted is always a wonderful thing. Remove 2 stacks of recharge from this. It can't be evaded. So that's going to go through foresight. Dodge, deflection, doesn't matter. That this will always be hitting people. Next, No Gibbon Up with a cooldown of 4. Deal physical damage to target enemy, dealing 10% more damage per debuff. Call target other ally to assist. Gungan allies gain critical damage up, recover 25% protection. Inflict marked on target enemy for 1 turn if they don't already have it. If the target enemy is separatist, also inflict marked on the enemy leader for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, resisted. I love this. Being able to mark the leader is huge. Now, obviously, think about bringing your Gungans against a team like General Grievous. Now, I get to directly go after General Grievous because he's going to be marked, so you could go take General Grievous out right away. And I know that's not the biggest of issues, but I'm just, hypothesizing. Think about going after Admiral Trench, or I'd even say like Geonosians. That this could be really good for people to beat Geonosians because you're going to mark GBA. So now you can mark GBA and, go all in on him. Then, Misa Tinka something with a Zeta. At the start of battle, Captain Tarpals loses 75% max health and gains that much max protection. So that's coming back. Whenever Captain Tarpals attacks out of turn, deal bonus true damage equal to 5% of his max protection. And he and the weakest Gungan ally recover 10% protection. Wow. So, again, looks like right here, that true damage based on his max protection is going to be very important. Whenever he scores a critical hit, remove 1 stack of recharge from allied shield generator. Gungan allies gain 5% defense penetration for 1 turn stacking. For Arya, stop barking. Gungan allies gain 5% defense penetration for 1 turn stacking for each stack of recharge removed from allied shield generator. Okay, that's pretty good. He gains 1% turn meter whenever an enemy is afflicted with a debuff. Whenever a debuffed enemy attacks Captain Tarpal, he counterattacks. If there is an active shield generator, he dispels all debuffs on himself, ignores taunt, and whenever he attacks out of turn, inflict buff immunity. Jeez, that is really, really good. Buff immunity is an unbelievably amazing, that is one of the worst debuffs. Because you think of all the things that are reliant on buffs, I love that, man. That is such a great ability whenever he attacks out of turn. And you think, he's going to get attacks out of turn even from Boss Nass, let alone his own kit, so I like this. And then in territory battles, he's going to gain 20% offense for each Gungan ally, and all Gungan allies gain critical damage up for 2 turns, and 100% max protection until the end of the encounter. Holy crap. At the start of each Gungan ally's turn, they remove 1 stack of recharge from the allied shield generator. The first time each Gungan ally falls below 50% health, they recover 100% health and protection. At the start of Captain Tarpals' turn, if he has more than 50% max protection, all Gungan allies gain offense up for 2 turns. Otherwise, they gain defense up for 2 turns. Jeez. Whenever a Gungan ally is dazed or stunned, they dispel it, reset their cooldowns, and gain a bonus turn. Whenever Captain Tarpals scores a critical hit, add a stack of plasma shielding to the allied shield generator. So, that is insane. Like, especially, like, I'm looking down here. Think about, I mean, I know it's phase 1, but think about Coruscant. You're going to be able to use these guys, I guarantee you, on auto. Because you're going to get stunned. You're going to get daze on you all the time. So every single time that daze comes around, that's a bonus turn. Resetting cooldowns, like, this is awesome. Absolutely love that. Again, I know it's a territory battle Omicron, but you've got to think that they have a plan for these territory battle Omicrons. They know what they're doing. So I would assume that this bonus zone will rely somewhat heavily on being able to have this Omicron or a very good strategy with your Gungans. So, with all that said, guys, that's Captain Tarpals. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for this character? Are you not? Again, I'm excited for the Gungan faction. Having, been a younger when Phantom Menace came out, I always thought they were kind of funny. As you get older, you kind of lose your appreciation for them and they get really annoying. But, those little kid things, you're like, Jar Jar's kind of funny. But overall, it's cool to see the characters and the way they're releasing them. I think giving us the leader and then now the character with the damage is going to be really cool. So like, subscribe, comment. I love you all. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.